What's up, everybody? It's your boy Wes Grant. You're watching Sub Urban Nerd. This is the channel I give my nerd views on today's nerd news. I also do movie reviews, and today's movie review I'm doing, as you can see in the title, that's why you're watching this movie, is on Endgame. And don't worry, it's gonna be non-spoiler. And usually I kind of give my gist of how I feel about this movie, and it's pretty much just like, wow, just wow. Forget that I loved it. Now, if you guys don't know, well, you've been living under a rock. But this movie, Endgame, is pretty much a sequel to Infinity War, in which, we all know that Thanos, he got the gauntlet, he did the snap, and half of life in the universe was wiped out. Now, him doing this, this movie follows up really quick, right after. It's right after, I think they said, maybe a couple weeks. It isn't, long time. But yeah, the world's dealing with what happened, the whole snap, or the desolation, or the vanishing, or whatever they called it in the movie, and our heroes that are left are just dealing with what happened. They're just trying to figure out what to do with their lives next, and some of them they can't get over this, and they're trying to figure out, we got to get back, and that is kind of gonna be as far as I'm gonna kind of tell you with the story, because like I said, this is non-spoiler review. Now, all I gotta do is tell you that the acting was on point. These people that have been doing this is a culmination of 10 years, 22 movies. They did their thing, and this was the end game. This is what it all came down to. And these actors, you can definitely tell, from the moment they were first cast as these people, they hit it out the park. But you can see as the movies went on, as MCU went on, they developed, they grew, they just became, the actors themselves became the people. Chris Hemsworth is, he is Captain, Chris Evans, he is Captain America. Chris Hemsworth, he is Thor. He was kind of iffy about Thor, but once he did the Ragnarok, he embraced it, and with the comedic chops of him, he's made Thor his own, and we love this new Thor. We've got Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow, even Rhodey, it's we love him. All these, Josh Brolin doing his thing as Thanos, definitely. You've got Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman, all the actors that have been in these movies that we've grown to love. They brought it. And the movie itself is 3 hours and 2 minutes, right? Now, I'm gonna tell you like this. The Infinity War movie had more action as far as throughout. Beginning, middle, and it had more action. Yes, it did. But the first two-thirds of this movie was set up and was building, and I didn't mind it, because the character building in the first hour, you felt for these people, you understood their pain, you grew to just understand what was going on, and the last hour had to be by far one of the best things I've ever seen. In fact, I think I gasped, and who really gasps? But I gasped, and I started just the emotion that I felt when the hour kicked. We've seen these fight scenes, right? Everyone was going crazy with the Avengers, all together fighting in New York, the first Avengers movie. Not too crazy about Ultron, but everyone went crazy with the fight scene at the airport in Civil War. And then Infinity War, the Wakanda, the battle scene, it sits on all of that. This movie's last hour, the major battle scene, it is something that you could only dream of. Not even the Star Wars with the lightsabers and Revenge of the Sith. It was incomprehensible of how amazing and how much joy this brought to me. Because I did not think that watching this movie I would feel the emotions that I felt. I started getting teary-eyed in so many moments. In fact, tears ran down my eye in the movie in the end, and it wasn't because of whether someone got lost, someone died, or anything like that. I'm not saying anyone did. It was just the sheer enjoyment of it coming to an end. This thing that we've been watching. Some kids grew up. Like, some kids weren't even born when the MCU first started, and now it's ending and they're 10. They can comprehend what's going on. Or if they were 5, or if they were like 7, and then now they're 10 years, they're 17, they're with their friends watching movies like this and watching this whole thing. This is what they grew up with. This is what made them want to be a better person. For somebody, they looked up to the heroes like Captain America. Now, I'm gonna tell you this. There's things that you'll see in this movie that were set up and hinted in other movies that it surely paid off. It paid off in full. And then there's things that you come into this movie, there was a lot of theories. Like, I was watching a lot of theories on this movie, right? Before it came out. Now, there's things that I theorized that might happen that nothing happened. But then there's things that people theorized, or I even theorized that might happen, that did happen. And when you're like, oh shit, they actually did it. That, you know, we thought might happen, but you're like, no, they're not going to go there. And they actually did it. You know what I'm saying? There's things that, like, what we see in a trailer. Now, I'm not going to say that they said all that we saw was in the first 15 minutes. I think that's bullshit. I don't know. It's not the first 15 minutes. But it is vague. What they showed in the trailers is nothing. It doesn't tell you the full story of what's actually happening in this movie. And what actually happened in this movie is amazing. Because, like, you know, we all want to see Thanos get his. But how do you see it? You don't, I'm not going to tell you. But trust and believe, like, it's satisfying. It is surely satisfying. And, like, this, it's, you know, it's hard for me to talk about this movie because of so much that I thought about watching this. I came out and I drove home in silence, pretty much, like, because I was still trying to process what this was that the Avengers is over. This was the end of, you know, even though they're saying Phase 4 or whatever ends after Homecoming, after Far From Home. Yeah, so none of this phase stuff matters because Ant-Man was the end of Phase 3 or whatever, so that doesn't really matter. What I'm looking forward to is seeing where they move forward with these movies. Where they go with the characters that are left. The characters in here, because, you know what? Not everyone makes it out of Infinity War. We all knew that. But, you know, who makes it? Who doesn't? It's hard to say. I don't want to tell you until I do a spoiler review. But for now, I'm just going to let you guys know that this movie is amazing. I enjoyed it. The last hour is some of the best cinematic visuals I've ever seen. Cinematic just in general. Like, it's so much action, the touching moments, just everything about it just was like almost, was pretty much perfect. And though it was slow, a little slow during like the first 2 hours, but it was more character building and it got you more invested in these characters. Hawkeye, oh my god, Hawkeye, they focus so much on him. Like you saw, like they showed you him before, but you understood, like you feel for him, you know? Is playing, that's why he became Ronin. And then Captain America, man, if you wanted him to get his shine, the dude gets his shine. And it shines so bright like a fucking star. And I know I didn't mean to say it, but yep, it's still PG-13 because I can only say one curse. But I'm telling you, yo, these people, so many people get their shine. And everyone's wondering about Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel, yes, she is in the movie, but she's not in the movie as much as you would what you think. But when she's in there, the Russo brothers utilize her to the max, and you're like, oh, hell yeah, because they show her power. They truly show her power, and you're like, yo, when everybody's up in this battle, you're like, I can't believe I'm seeing this. So I'm just gonna stop right there because I'm being vague as hell, but we'll talk a little bit more in another video. But this movie, for my grade, I'm going to give it an A+. So that's A+ right here, because even though it might have been slow, I didn't mind it because the build-up was so great. So A+ for me. I can't wait to see it again because I watched it today in 3D. I have tickets for tomorrow in Dolby, and I have tickets for Saturday in Dolby. So I don't know if I'm gonna see the Friday one, because I pretty much got that one just because I didn't think I was gonna get a Thursday, but I got a Thursday. So I don't know. But that's pretty much my review. If you guys like what I thought, if you guys think the same thing that I thought, if you guys feel the way I feel, let me know down below. Comment down below. Like this video. Remember to subscribe. You know, check out my last movie review. Check out my playlist of movie reviews. And remember, I'm Wes Grant. You've been watching Sub Urban Nerd, and you've just been notified. Catch you guys on the next review.